Hello and welcome. My name is Triplus, or rather that's the name I go by on most social media and such things. Well, it's more like Triplus Sims on social media, but details. Speaking of details though, that's what I'm going to be going over a lot of. That's why I made this video, because the Sorcerer mod that I created, kind of an update to the Sorcerer trait that I formerly put out, but there's so much to this compared to the Sorcerer trait that I figured it would be simpler to just release it separately. So we're going to be going over the features in detail to show you what to do and how to do it, how to be a sorcerer. The mod also has a bunch of features described in words, so if words are your thing, if you would rather read than listen to my voice, probably not a good set of choices to propose in a video where I'm wanting you to watch it. But seriously, if you would rather read, you can just go read it from the mod page on Mod The Sims and find out what the features are there. But I'm going to show you them here so you can see them visually and hear me describe them, and I'm going to get to the features now. I'm not very good at transitions. So, first step is becoming an actual sorcerer. Getting the sorcerer trait, those of you who played with the old version of my sorcerer trait, it was originally a personality trait that you choose and create a sim. That's no longer the case though. You now get the trait by getting a lump of clay. You click on Investigate Object. It'll give you a little tooltip explaining this object is swirling with magical energy. Beware, the consequences of investigating may be permanent. ... Ominous description. Spoiler alert, the consequences are permanent unless you use cheats to remove the trait. If you use cheats to remove the trait after this first stage, shouldn't cause any problems. If you use cheats to try to remove Sorcerer after some of the later stages, things may get a little more complicated and have more of a chance of breaking, so you better make sure you know what you're doing. I might go into that later, but for now let's get to actually playing with the trait. So we have a guy here who does not have it yet, Parker Valentine. He's gonna go over and investigate this lump of clay. I'll actually go and get out another lump of clay for you, just to show how easy it is to locate. You can just type in lump of clay into the search bar. This is a base game item. The only difference is that it's had the interaction added to it, investigate object, which shows up if you are a child sim or older and you don't have the sorcerer trait yet. So we're gonna have Parker go over and investigate, and he's gonna do a little animation. Go into the air, and now he has the sorcerer trait, which says, these sims, if you're wondering for the purposes of searching out prospects for a witch hunt, definitely don't have supernatural powers and can do nothing magical that other sims can't, which is a complete lie. Not true at all. They absolutely have supernatural powers and can do magical things. The one caveat to that is if you have a child sim who has the sorcerer trait, They will not have access to the spells, aka powers. They will have access to a couple of unique kind of scenarios, possibilities, because they're little kids. They can't really manage their magic yet, the way that older Sims can. But teen or older has access to everything exactly the same. And let's get into the next part of this. I'm just gonna pause so it's less visually distracting here. Now, after we got Parker Valentine, the Sorcerer trait, we got a little pop-up here that explains what you want to do next. Rather than read the whole pop-up, I'll just tell you what you want to do next, since this is a video about what to do. You can click on Parker Valentine now, and you now have a new menu here called Spells. Click on that and get a little menu called Meditate on the Spirit of Lamadeus. He's a magical powers god. He, she, could be either. I don't know. Maybe it's a he, maybe it's a she. We don't know. It's Lamadeus. Now there are 3 rituals here. The ritual of digestive control, ritual of forced isolation, and ritual of runner's control. Which is not the right name. It's supposed to be runner's vigor. Okay, the mistake with the ritual has been fixed. The text was wrong. Ritual's control is supposed to be runner's vigor. I'm leaving the reference to the mistake in the video because, I mean, it's a lesson in how text can be. You can have it sitting there messed up for like 2 or 3 weeks and not see that it's wrong. It was right in the comments of the code. It was not right in the actual flavor text for the ability. So moving on. 3 rituals. Each one leads you to essentially the same thing, but with a couple of differences. All of these lead to becoming a sorcerer to the extent that you can cast spells and other such things that I'll show you by completing one of these. But first, I just want to take a moment to look at the tooltip part here. So, digestive control says sorcerers with this trait don't need to manage hunger or bladder need. Each of these has a different set of properties like that, where 2 of your default needs, you do not need to manage them once you have this trait. The reason for this will become apparent in a moment when I complete one of these. So I'm going to do the ritual of runner's control, which is going to take about 42 seconds. And once that is complete, we have another little tooltip. I'm not going to read that since I'm explaining things, but if you don't have this video with you, or you're trying to figure out on your own, this will explain what's going on a little bit. So we now have the trait Never Bedheader from performing the ritual of runner's vigor, and sorcerers with this trait don't need to manage hygiene or energy needs. So the 2 new needs, every flavor of sorcerer who completes the ritual gets these 2 new needs: magical connection and alignment. Alignment, note, does not function like a normal need. However, magical connection does, for the most part, with a couple of exceptions. Alignment does not decay on its own, nor does it increase on its own. If you see little arrows moving outside of specific circumstances that I'm going to talk about in a second here, don't worry about it. It doesn't mean anything. What matters is the little number here, like right now it says 0. What happens is, when you cast a spell, We're going to go under spells, and we now have some starter spells here. We could cast Lull to Sleep, for example, on this other sim here. And they're going to play a little animation, like an air guitar, because that's cool. And the other sim will fall asleep, which they did not for some reason. That is strange. Okay, so I reviewed the footage to figure out what the issue is. Saw that the interaction canceled out a little early. This is something that I believe I've seen happen with the vampire powers as well, and this uses the same code as the vampire mind control powers, so nothing to horribly be concerned about. If it happens to you, just try it again, which I did, and this time it worked. The sim fell asleep, they're tranquilized, and what happened over here? So, when I use the power, I will try to show you with another power on another sims just so you can see it visually. We'll do sacrificial wealth here. Now at the end of the interaction we lose 5 magical connection, it goes down a bit, and our alignment changes. Now we used a light alignment spell, a little blue icon. So alignment went in the direction of the right, toward higher light alignment. If we were to have used the dark spell, it would have gone to the left, toward dark alignment. Once it goes far enough, you start unlocking new spells. Alignment pretty much goes 0 to -100. With -100, I'll just show you with cheats. With -100, we have full dark alignment. With 100, full light alignment. And each spell gives you 10 alignment points. So if you want to max out, say, light alignment, all you need to do is cast 10 light spells in a row and you're maxed out. It's really fast to do. Now before I talk about what to do with magical connection when that gets low, I'm going to show you some of the specifics of alignment spells you can get, special traits, that sort of thing. So light alignment 20 unlocks a new light spell. You just have to figure out where it shows up, probably on another sim. Where does it show up? Oh, I remember now. Dry out. And there's no puddle here. We need a puddle. Somebody needs to have an accident so that we have a puddle. Need a puddle to show this. And they had an accident. Get out of there. Move out of there. Out of the puddle. So we have a puddle. We now have a new ability called Dry Out. Dry Out. You can go over here, put down the blob of clay. Put it down. Get out of the shower. Get out of the stinking shower. What are you doing? Come on. Come on, we're trying to do a thing here. Do the dry out. Stop it. Using autonomy for this is not a good plan. We do the dry out. Boom. Puddle goes away. No more puddle. We gain a little bit more alignment. Lose magical connection temporarily. Now, light alignment 40. Get a new spell called cast Era of Edibility. What does that do? We can cast it on pretty much anybody who's on the lot, including ourselves. Although it might give you issues if you're the only person, absolutely no question, on the lot. But seeing as how people can be on the lot and be way out of range, you're probably not going to run into that problem. So let's cast it on Sabrina Darkstar here. Go boom, casting Era of Edibility on Sabrina Darkstar. Blam. Done. Sabrina Darkstar now gains a fine buff, little +1 moodlet called Era of Edibility. While this is active and it lasts 6 hours, it can cook a meal, which I will start them doing while I show you some other powers. And basically any meals they cook while they have this buff active are going to be of the type that doesn't spoil, because they've been given the fresh chef trait temporarily. Stop being embarrassed, goofball. Now, light alignment 60, we get, I can't remember these spells offhand. It's sad. I don't know my own spells. Get a spell called what? Oh yes, Douse. Douse has to do with putting out fires. I can't show it very well without setting somebody on fire. So we're gonna stop the grilled cheese process here, because this person is dark alignment and they can set people on fire. So we're gonna do that to show you what you can do. Set on fire Parker Valentine. Boom. Come on. No, stop. What are you doing? Stop making a salad. Need to be. Oh God! I'm set on fire. Oh no! What do I do? What do I do? Oh look! Douse. Boom. Boom. Douse. Douse it. What are you doing? Douse the fire. It's not working. Douse it. Whether you douse the fire and it goes out, this is an utter disaster. Why is this not working? It's an utter disaster. This whole video is a friggin' disaster. I have tested Douse in the past many times, and every time it has worked. I make a video to show the power, and Douse does not work. This is modding for you. It's very imprecise science, apparently. It doesn't make any sense at all that it didn't work, but sure. Should have worked. We'll show you dousing somebody else, because that should work. I know for a fact that should work. Maybe it's just dousing yourself that's a little finicky, as I state in the write-up for this mod. Holy mother of God. Autonomy is a mess. Oh no, you're on fire. Let's douse you. Come on. Put the fire out. There it is. Boom. Fire. Why are you extinguishing? What are you extinguishing? Okay. Yeah. You want to calm down there? That's the fire. I doused it. You freaking put out the fire. Stop with the toddler. Oh my God. Put the toddler down and put the fire out. This is insanity. I think it it's not working because it can't do it when there are actions queued up or something. I don't know, this doesn't make any sense. One guy it works, one guy it doesn't. Fire doesn't make any sense. It's complicated. I don't understand what is happening. And the toddler is being very stupid right now. They're very sad about a fire. This video is an utter disaster. I don't know what is happening. But I might as well just let him die because then I can show you another feature. Actually, it's not going to really let me show you it. Never mind. I don't know what I'm thinking. There's a resurrection feature, but it only works on ghosts. It doesn't work on people who just died. Just made a very poor decision and wasted a lot of time. Okay, moving on. So, fire is finicky. It's gonna work sometimes, other times it's not gonna work. I'm gonna try to work on that and make it work better. Fire is a complicated mechanic, essentially, and if I want it to work better, I'm gonna need to just make a copy of the fire object and give it its own properties so it's not such a damn disaster. Okay, let's show you some abilities that aren't a disaster. Light alignment spells. Prolong life, 80 alignment, you can now do this too. Not really going to be able to see it because aging is not on. But here's an example of how this works. Say you had aging on, and by default it takes this little toddler. That's not a toddler. This little toddler, say it takes them normally 7 days to age up. I don't remember what the number really is, but that's not the point. Say it takes them 7 days. You're 3 days in, they got 4 days left till they age up. You use Prolong Life on them, and at the end of that, boom, their life resets to the beginning of the stage. It's now going to take 7 days again. You can do this as much as you want, so if you want to just keep prolonging how long it takes them to age up, even though aging is on, that's the thing you can do. You can do it to Sims that are in your household. Should be able to do it in Sims that aren't in your household. I haven't tested that because there's no way to really check it without doing it and then going to the sim and looking at them. But I don't know any reason why it wouldn't work. It's not one of those finicky things, or it shouldn't be. So you're good there. 100 alignment. You can now resurrect a ghost. Pretty straightforward. You have a ghost somewhere. We'll just imagine that there is a sim who is a ghost standing here. You click on them, go to your spells, go to light alignment, resurrection, cast it. At the end of it, boom, they come back to life like ambrosia. Now, max light alignment, you have the ability to go to spells. You now have meditate on the spirit of Lamadeus showing up again. Ooh, transcend. You can use that. Not going to show you it on this guy, because it'll lock him into the trait. I'll show you the trait on one of these other sims in a moment. But I also want to show you -10 dark alignment. Same idea but different spell. Ritual of the Immortal. Ooh, immortality. Now, I prepared these guys, so this one has, which is it? They have maximum dark alignment. I guess I didn't give them the actual traits yet, so we'll have to do that. This video is going exactly as planned. Ritual of the Immortal. Boom. He's like, look at that ritual. Black clouds everywhere. He's like the Grim Reaper. Looks like he's covered in soot too from the fire. Now he's like, ah ha ha, maniacal laughter. And what is this? He's immortal now. Can't age, can't die, neither of them. Now, one stipulation of this is he's pretty much locked at dark alignment now. Can no longer do the starter spells that give him light alignment. So there's no way to get out of dark alignment unless you use cheats, and it's inadvisable to try because it's not really supposed to happen. Also gets these little neat goodies. I'm going to show you by going outside away from people so you can better see it. It's got this little trailing cloudy black thing at his feet like the Grim Reaper does. And he can disable it. You don't want that, Ari? You don't want to have black cloudy thing at your feet? Maybe today you do, tomorrow you don't. You disable, or you go in and you re-enable it. Your choice. Or you can enable, well, not or, you can also enable moving by hover. So you turn that on, and then boom, we click go here. Now he's floating, hovering like the Grim Reaper. Now I'm going to show you light alignment. Their special little ritual. Can get out of the shower. We go transcend. Boom. Have a little sun icon coming out of their chest. Get away from me, Grim Reaper. I'm doing a ritual. That is, what are you doing? Do a ritual. Stop worrying about your needs. I'm going to have to fill out their needs so they'll stop freaking out and canceling the ritual. And stop worrying about the toddler. They're okay. We'll fix their needs with cheats. You can pay attention to the thing that you're supposed to be paying attention to. Do your ritual. Come on. Stop worrying about the toddler. They're fine. Boom. Look at that ritual. Okay. Blammo. Now what do we have? They now have a plus 50 permanent fine buff. Because they're stoic, they transcended mortal human emotions. So they're not really going to have to deal with emotions anymore. Because they're like all godly and stuff. Now, they have this little visual effect, little sun coming out of their chest. Like the other thing, you can disable it if you want. You don't want it sitting there in your chest cavity. Boom, no longer there. Same thing as the other one, can also move by hover. Blammo. Now, dark alignment spells. I'll just run you through a few of those quickly, because this is taking way too long. First one we get is Suppress Sadness. You cast this thing. Not really going to be useful for this guy. He shouldn't have been able to access it because he maxed his light alignment. I just did exactly what I said you shouldn't do. I'll show you on this guy so it's less confusing. Suppress Sadness. You use it. Do a little thing here. Boomity boom. What happens? You get a buff. Not sad, don't care, and stop looking at me like that. Basically, while you have this buff, you cannot receive sad moodlets. If you already have sad moodlets, it apparently will do nothing. Which is not what I expected to happen. I should probably change that in a later version. I love how this is going. This is the most fantastic disaster of a video I've ever made in my life. This is a wonderful disaster. I will change that before I release the mod so that your existing sad moodlets also get removed by suppressing sadness. Otherwise it doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? So we can show you magical connection in a moment, but let's first run through the rest of these spells real quick. It's minus 40. You now have access to suppress sadness, and you also have access to drumroll siphon wealth. And apparently, because of autonomy and other things, it's gonna cause issues. It's basically just a thing that gives you some free money. Don't actually need to see it. Okay, minus 60. Oh dear, oh dear. Tableau, Tableau? Apparently I don't know how to say words. Let's get this bugger outside so that we're not running into strange issues. Now. Boom. Clean slate. What happens here? Let's find out. If you know what blah 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 means. Boom, relationship forgotten. It's memory wipe. Okay. Minus 80 we've already seen. Allows you to set people on fire. And then minus 100. And this one is kind of crazy. Create lightning rod. Might have an idea of what this is by the name. Boom! Oh, snap. Electrocuted to death. So max dark alignment, you can basically do things to people that cause the Grim Reaper to come. And light alignment, you can resurrect ghosts. It's kind of a back and forth thing there. Now, before everyone in the world falls asleep, magical connection. What's the deal here? When it gets low enough, say minus 90 or lower, you're not going to have enough magic. I did that on the wrong person to show you. Oh dear, oh dear. You don't have enough magical connection to cast most of your spells. You also, when you get low enough, start getting a minus or a +1 dazed. If you reach minus 100, the max lowest, get a +3 dazed. Now the question is, how do you refill it? Refill magical connection by either sacrificing or draining needs from other sims, which I'm gonna have to pause the video to show you because I no longer have an adult sim to drain from and they're all dead. So we're just gonna pause the video, get in a better scenario here and show you how that works. Alrighty. Okay, magical connection. You want to refill your magical connection. Let's say it's really low. All you got left, you can't cast pretty much any of your spells with the exception of some special spells. Go to spells, renew magical connection, and you can't do it on other sorcerers. I've done it again. Start over. Okay, let's try that again. So, magical connection, slow, minus 90, can't really do anything except get magical connection back. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna show you what you can do. You can drain a need or sacrifice a need. Draining a need will give you dark alignment. Sacrificing a need will give you light alignment. If your alignment is locked, you're only going to be able to do the one for the kind of alignment you have. So if your alignment is locked at light alignment maximum from getting the special trait, you're only going to be able to sacrifice needs at that point. So it's going to be more challenging to keep up your magical connection. Because it's harder for light people. They have it harder doing the right thing. But for now, we're just going to do a simple little drain need. Now the reason none of these are available is because this guy's needs, not yours. Yours are probably fine. Well, you might need to go to the bathroom at this point. Your needs are not high enough to sacrifice them. Let's say they were though. Had 100 bladder. You could sacrifice bladder. But for the moment, we'll just show draining a need. We're going to drain fun from this bugger. And we're like, boom! Drain fun from him, alright? What happens? Our fun fills up the full. Magical connection fills up the full. We get minus 10 alignment. And his fun is drained to minus 90. Almost nothing. Boom. That's pretty much magical connection in a nutshell. Now let's show you teleporting briefly. Teleporting, it's the only way to travel. At alignment 0, your teleport is called Teleport Amadeus' Torch. You go boom, purple flame, teleport. Once you start getting in the dark alignment territory where the bar changes color, same teleport, but the name and effect are a bit different. Teleport is Reaper Shroud, boom. Light alignment version, teleport is Purity's Flame. Yellow, fire, boom. Now let's briefly, briefly, can't say words. Let's briefly show you one of the features for child sims. Go under friendly, imbue with teleportation power. Now it has to be a child sim that has the sorcerer trait. We already gave this one, not on video. We meaning me. So boom, imbue with teleportation power now for 6 hours. This little dudette, can teleport Amadeus' torch. No, it's a little more complicated than that, because they go, stop trying to set down the lump of clay and teleport. Boom. Teleport. Oh, they're uncomfortable. Look at that. A little queasy from teleporting, because they're so small. While that queasy buff is up, it only lasts 30 seconds. They can't teleport again. But once it runs out, my game is freezing up because I'm trying to make a video. It doesn't like it. Once that buff runs out, it can teleport again. So you can kind of try to plan around this for the most usefulness of the teleportability for Child Sim. Other thing is Child Sims can spontaneously combust when they're angry. That'll be outlined in the features on the mod page. Too complicated to explain here and too random. Doesn't happen very often. But that's pretty much it for the mods features right now. I do intend to do more with it before I move on to other projects. I would be happy to hear your ideas for what you would like me to do aside from fixing glaring issues that I ran into here, some of which will be managed before I officially release the mod. Little toddler, toddler, so cute, cute little toddler. Aw. So that's it for the video. If you would like to support my work, there is a link to my Patreon page in the description. The time I'm spending on modding could be spent on other things, and I'm spending it on modding, and I'm a person and I live in a world where money is very important. So I could be spending time on things that would make me money. If this don't make me money, I can't do it forever. You see what I say? I need money. So if you can support me in some way with a little bit of money, I really appreciate that. That's my sad face if I don't have the money. No, it looks like more of a man's sad face than this. This is a little girl. So if you can do that, really appreciate it. If not, that's okay. It's still cool. And I hope you enjoy the mod. And I hope you get a lot out of it. I put a lot into it. It was a really cool experience to do. A lot of detail work. So, that's all I have to say. I don't know why I'm talking like this. It's not how I normally talk. I don't have some strange accent. I don't know what I'm doing. Goodbye. Have a good day. And may the toddler be with you. Always.